You are now listening to the voice of horror.
Damn. No.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. With that type of intro, here we go. We're here live, ready to rock and roll. Coriander, of course, is with me. And of course, we got our main man, good friend Eric from Hey Internet Eric here, ready to rock.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Look, and Coriander's losing her mind. This is par for the course.
Oh no.
Last week we had a blast, man, because we were talking about two films that, in my opinion, absolutely love both of them. We were talking about Halloween 2 from 81 and Friday the 13th Part 2 from 81, the battle of the sequels. And man, it was such a fun episode. We've gotten so much really positive feedback. A lot of people really enjoyed it. So tonight, man, we might even be in just even more difficult territory here because we're talking about Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers from 1988, Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter from 84. So anyways, this is going to be great, guys. As we did last week, we have categories, but this time we have a couple more categories just to make this more difficult. Just to say hey to you guys in the chat. What's going on, Val? Thank you so much for reminding people. Definitely hit the like
Val.
button and let us know that you're enjoying the stream.
Hey,
All
Val.
right. Yeah. Dominic's in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Saying I say the final chapter. Okay, well,
Right?
we're gonna find out because we've got some categories, man. And these categories, they're pretty good. All seriousness, they are pretty good. Let's start off with Eric. I'll start off with you. What are your overall thoughts of these two movies? Without necessarily saying, hey, I like this better than the other, but what are your overall thoughts?
Oh, gee. I'll say this. This is going to be a lot harder than last week because if we were just going by what we liked, last week was going to be one-sided with me over the one over the other.
Yeah.
This one is going to be really tough because without showing my cards, one is the favorite of the franchise for me, and one is top 3 for me. And I'll leave it at that till we get to the categories.
Okay. All right, Coriander. How about you? What are your thoughts on these two films? Obviously, we've talked about each on the channel when we've gone through both franchises, but just to refresh people's minds.
Yeah. No, I think this one's going to be, I think, easier for me. So I'm ready.
She sounds confident.
That's all I'm saying. I don't want to give it away, right?
Okay. All right.
Sometimes I say too much. So.
All right. So look, let me jump in here. So listen, to me, these are two movies where I really think both franchises kind of hit, this amazing rhythm. For one franchise, it was a course correction, which definitely changed the whole destiny of it. When we talk about Halloween, if Halloween 4 wasn't as popular as it was, if it didn't work, then who knows what would have happened to the franchise. This literally put Michael on the map right in between Freddy and Jason. And of course, for Jason, for the Friday 13th franchise, the final chapter is highly regarded, a fan favorite, and rightly so. It has so many great elements to it, really well directed by Joseph Zito. So anyways, this is going to be fantastic. As we get some people coming into the chat before we get going, and also to give the rules on how we're going to do this, Nikki's in the chat hanging out with us again, saying hello, excited for this one. We are too, Nikki. We are too.
Yeah.
Give us some fire emojis in the chat, man. Seriously, this is going to be great. Philip's in here with us. Rob's here. What's up, Rob? What's up? Good to see you. Let's see. Scott's in the chat. What's up, Scott? Good to see you. All right. All right. So we're going to go through the categories. We have multiple categories. I think last week we had 8, and this time we have 11, I believe. Let me just take a look here to make sure. Yeah. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of categories. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be writing down the votes that we get for each category. And for you guys in the live chat, we can have you guys also giving us your thoughts or your vote for which film you want to choose. If you do a super chat, we will actually put that into our voting mix. Okay, but we're going to try to keep this as simple as possible and, go from there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, let me bring these up here, Eric, because you'll be first.
Okay.
And then Andrew will be next. The first category that we are going to discuss is the poster for the movie. The poster for the movie. Now, let me just show these real quick, too, for those who may not remember. We've got Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and we've also got Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. What are your overall thoughts on that, Eric, before you give your
Chick, did you show them? Okay, there it is. It was so quick. Wait, I didn't even see the Friday one. Could you do it again?
Yes.
I think it's my phone. Okay. You can do the other one?
Yes,
I do.
ma'am.
There we go.
Okay.
What is going on?
Thank you.
How
Well, I
did you
didn't
get
see
here?
it the first time. Man.
No, I get it. I
Come
get it. I
on.
get
How
it.
can I judge fairly if
You don't remember them?
No.
What?
You know how many movies? Come on, I can't remember every poster, and I don't have like
I'm
a
playing.
photographic memory like you.
Okay.
You know,
All
I
right.
can't remember
We're still
everything.
continuing from last week, aren't we?
We are, man. How did this happen? Okay. So, Eric, give me your overall thoughts of these two posters.
Overall thoughts.
Yes.
They're very, very simple.
Yes.
And they definitely get the point across. You can tell one is representing the final chapter of one, obviously, with the way, the mask is used with Jason.
Yes.
But you can tell that Michael Myers is back with 4, and he, mask or not, he looks pissed. So they do their job promoting the film.
Right.
Very well done.
Absolutely. Okay. So, Coriander, what are your overall thoughts of these two posters?
For something that was supposed to be the final chapter, it's kind of lame. I love Jason, but it's kind of lame.
Okay.
Right. So obviously, yeah, Halloween is, you get the house in the background and Michael, the mask looks, that's pretty good. So
okay.
I think, yeah.
Well, my overall thoughts on this is that, I do enjoy, first of all, I enjoy these types of posters, man. I wish we could go back to this style of poster. I think it really started in the early to mid 90s, definitely by the mid 90s, where we started to have posters that really focused on the actors and actresses, which is not a bad thing in and of itself. But I love the old school posters, from the 70s and the 80s, where you literally had a concept, you know what I'm saying? And your mind would kind of work a lot. So
it left a lot of mystery.
Yes, it did. It did, man. When we used to go to Blockbuster, we didn't know what we were getting into. Exactly. We would look at that poster on the front of that movie, and we'd be like, man, I'm wondering what this is going to be about. And sometimes it would really be something different than what we thought. But that was the magic of it as well, man. So I really enjoy both of these. But we got to give the point to only one. So Eric, we're gonna start with you. So who are you going to give the point to? Is it Halloween or is it Friday the 13th?
I'm not going to agree with Coriander in saying that the final chapter's poster is lame. But I will say that I do think that Halloween 4 gets its point across better because there isn't just a mask with a knife and some blood on the ground. As cool as that looks and as cool as that concept is, showing that we're Jason's air quotes going to die, at the end of this one, we get the really cool Michael Myers mask poster wise on this poster, but I really like the use of the colors and the fact that the Myers house in the background. I think that just adds to the effect. It's a little bit more in the poster than just Jason's mask, knife, and some blood, and just the way the shadows look on the house, and then just the text in the top corner. I just think it's perfect.
Okay. All right. So you're going with Halloween. All right. Point for Halloween. How about you, Coriander?
Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying it's lame. Maybe I said lame, but it's just simple.
Yeah.
And
right.
I would rather have seen, Jason's whole body, and yeah, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm giving it to Halloween. Just because I love this movie. So I'm just saying, Anyway,
you love what movie?
Well, obviously Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I just, but I am going to go for the Halloween poster in this round because to me, the posters, they kind of missed the mark for me.
Okay. All right. So you're giving it to Halloween. For me, I agree with a lot of what you guys were saying. I think the Friday poster, I do think it's cool, because I do like, the way that the mask looks. I'm a sucker for, that Brooker and Ted White mask because it looks kind of crisp. I like it. And the knife through the eye, that looks really, really cool. But again, it is very simple. And the thing about the Halloween 4 poster, bro, when I first saw the cover of this at the video store, I was like, oh my God, he's back. Because again, this is following the heels of Season of the Witch, which I've said this 1,000 times before. I hated Season of the Witch as a kid. So just seeing Michael on the cover looking so amazing like this was enough for me to just fall in love with the movie even before I watched it. So I will also give the point to Halloween 4. All right. So Halloween 4 does the trifecta. Real quick, too, in the chat, May-Ann's in with us. What's going on? Saying hello, Night, Coriander, and Eric.
Hello.
Good to see you. Good to see you. James was saying VHS covers were the best. They left more of an impression on you. I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
I still miss going to Blockbuster Friday nights and just walking around for hours.
Right?
Even if you end up with the same stupid movie you get every Friday, you know what I mean?
M85 saying amazing poster, iconic, just misleading. True enough. Horror villain fan in the chat saying I like Friday 13th Part 4 more on poster. All right. Dark Phoenix saying Halloween 4 poster looks scary. Yes. Okay, guys, our next category, and again, for you guys in the live chat, let us know what you think as well. Again, the super chat gives you a chance to actually add to the score as well. Okay, so our next category that we're going with is the opening. The opening of the movie. Okay, so that's the first, whatever it is, 10 minutes, whatever we want to call it, but you guys know what I'm talking about, kind of like what we did for last week. So Eric, overall thoughts on the opening of these two films?
This is gonna be tough because one's opening has the opening credit sequence, which is different, and I really love it. The other one has such a cool vibe, and like the Friday 13th, it gives a vibe that I've never felt before. Just the way I'll go into it with my ranking or my rating and stuff like that. It didn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, I really like that too. They're both different than what we've seen before, and pretty much what we've seen since in a lot of ways. So both really, really great.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Coriander?
Well, for me, I don't think of, all right. So I think of when the first scene starts, and I love in Friday how it starts right after 3, and they're taking Jason to the morgue, and we all know what happens at the hospital, and it's I love the opening, and I mean Halloween. I guess Michael finds out, oh, I've been in a coma, but I hear when I'm in a coma that I have a niece, so I'm going to wake up and kill people and drive to Haddonfield. And yeah, man. So, and then you see little Jamie and, and you see the ambulance. And I mean, it's all right. But I think for me, Friday just has a better opening.
Well, wait a minute. We're not scoring it yet. I just want overall
Oh,
thoughts.
shit. See, I did it again.
Both of them, but see,
I
both of
did
them
it
have
again.
both of them have kind of like that whole hospital type of scene or ambulance type of scene, which I thought was really interesting too. How these two movies have so many bridges between the two of them. Obviously one, you have the flashback to the last movie and then it continues, which I thought was really, really cool. I've always loved the flashback opening of the Friday movies. But the thing with Halloween though is the opening to Halloween, and I kid you not, this could be a hot take, although I've heard some people say it before. The atmosphere of it is on par with 78. Like it feels like autumn. It feels like Halloween time. And I thought that was a huge positive for me as far as the beginning of Halloween 4. It really felt like this is Halloween season, and they were able to really capture that charm of that time. But anyways, very cool stuff. So Eric, who are you choosing and why?
Now I can get into it a little bit more. This is really tough because, like you were just saying with the opening of 4, there's almost no score, if any. You have the fields and scarecrows and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then I do enjoy the stuff in the hospital. I like the way Michael looks wrapped up in the bandages and they take him out in the rain. Once that door busts open, the theme kicks. Perfect.
Yep.
But the reason why I'm going to give it to 4, the final chapter, Friday 4, the final chapter, is because Joseph Zito, okay, he did Chuck Norris movies. He knows how to use the camera. He uses a helicopter in this movie. Yeah. We start not just with the flashbacks that we always get. This is a crime scene. You know what I mean? Right. I like seeing the police show up. They're putting the axe in the evidence bag. We get an overhead shot of Jason just laying there. You know what I mean? That's what I meant by it felt different. Like it's not a Friday the 13th movie. And I think as cool as it was, I got to go with Friday just because of the way Joseph Zito shot it with the helicopter and everything. You know, it felt like a crime movie starting.
Right. It did. Absolutely. Okay. And Coriander, for you, you're going with Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. And before I give my point, real quick, we got a super chat, man. Intel Wild coming in. Thank you so much.
Very cool.
Super chat. Very, very cool. We appreciate it. It's great to get the help for the channel. And saying, great show, guys. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And we definitely want to have a great show for you guys. But real quick, thank you so much. We're going to play this for you in honor of your super chat. Here we go.
Running in place. Not walking and running and jumping in place. Not walking and jumping and running in place. Not walking and jumping and running in place.
All right. Shout out to George Hamilton. Thank you so much, Intel Wild. We really appreciate the support for the channel. For me, this is a difficult category because I think both films, and I really mean this, I think both films have fantastic openings. Like, seriously, the opening of a film sometimes can really, really make or break that film. And both of these, like we've already said, had great openings to provide atmosphere, camera work, the vibe of the moment, and all those types of things. But and even thinking about it right now. And by the way, guys, just to let you guys know, we are literally giving these points now live. We did not predetermine what we were going to choose because I just think that makes it more fun. Man, just even thinking about it, it's like, man, I could go either freaking way. This is so close that it's not even funny. But I do think I gotta edge it out to Friday just a little bit, because, and one thing you said, Eric, that was really, really big was the whole idea of it being that crime scene and that shot of the helicopter, and it just felt so ominous because it's kind of like, okay, they've got Jason there. What's going to happen? So I'm going to edge it out to Friday on that one. Okay. Wow. So far, we've been all on the same team. Okay. Our next category number 3, the music of the film. Now, this might be easy or it may be difficult. Eric, what's your overall thoughts?
To me, it's been a while since I've seen both of them. So other than the song where Jimmy dances to in the final chapter, I think I'm pretty much going to base it off the iconic themes that we hear throughout most of the film. So it's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty easy for me.
Okay, all right. And Val, thank you for thanking Intel Wild for the super chat and the support. We really do appreciate it. Gina's in the chat. What's going on? And Mayanne saying happy birthday to the icon, the legend, Jason Voorhees. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We got Thorn in the chat, one of our newest channel members.
Nice.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Also appreciate you being part of our channel membership. Again, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, hit the join button next to the subscribe button. Okay, so Coriander, overall thoughts on the music for you?
They're both good. I mean, especially when they're doing their thing. So this one is going to be interesting, but I know where I'm going just because. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay, all right. And Val loves that clip. We got Phil in the chat. What's up, Phil?
Hey, Phil.
Hey.
What's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. And Val was saying I have to give the opening to Friday the 13th just instantly took you back to the Friday the 13th vibe. Wow. Okay, Val. That's very interesting. And Val is a lifelong Halloween fan. All right.
See, that's the one thing about like what we're doing like tonight and last week with these categories. It helps you not really show that favoritism. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. That's why I love doing it this way with the categories, because you can't. You have to grade it on specific things, and then we find out who wins at the end. Again, this music was great. I think music in both films, in general, both franchises have some really, really great mood and creepiness and darkness to the music. This one might be an easier one for me, but we'll see. Eric, who are you giving your point to?
Excuse me. I'm gonna base it off. Like I said, it's been a little while since I've seen them both. The themes, it's pretty much the main themes we all come to know and love from both of the films. I'm basing on how one theme is used better. I'm going with Halloween. And two scenes in general is when they bust through those doors, leaving the asylum, going to the hospital, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yes.
You know, it sets the tone. It's dark. It's rainy. It's pumping you up. You know these paramedics aren't going to live long, so you're getting ready. And then the other scene is when Michael gets out of the chair pretending to be the cop with the shotgun, and the way it hits, that's just perfect. So I love me some Harry Manfredini, but I'm going with Halloween for this one.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you? Which one are you going to give the point to?
Can I flip a coin and let that choose for me?
There's a couple of these categories, like for me, that it's a coin flip for sure.
Right. I don't really have specifics. It's just
that's okay.
What hits me more, and yeah, I got to give it to Friday. So.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the other way. Okay, all right.
No,
you're going with Friday. No. Okay,
yes, I am.
all right. And we got Jason. Jason's in the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. We're going category by category. Sarah's in the chat too. Another one of our channel members and supporters. Good to see you. So, hey, Sarah. Sorry I'm late.
Nice.
Jason saying Friday wins every category. Jason rules. I don't know, man. The poster, we had everybody went with Halloween. So let me know what you think, though. Let me know what you think. Billy saying, and welcome to the chat, by the way, Billy. I'm a bigger Halloween fan, but this is the best Friday the 13th. All right.
Yeah, it's very
I'm
good.
not saying I'm not like, I love Michael too.
Yeah,
we know.
Two, well, this guy is new, and I just want to let him know I love Jason, but I love Michael too. They're like my top two slashers.
Yeah, well,
So,
and let me just say, if you are new to this channel, just to catch you up, man, I mean, we are, and I would say Eric's in that same boat because he's with us a lot. I mean, we grew up around the same time. And so when you're talking about horror, if you weren't watching Michael, Jason, or Freddy, I don't know
Yeah.
what you were doing if you weren't.
Right.
Right.
You were a horror fan. You were watching the Trinity. So we're
Yeah.
huge fans of all of them. Definitely, for me and
I
Coriander,
love Jaws
Friday.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just have to throw that in there too,
Well,
because
yeah.
that's a classic, and that should be thrown in with, you know, these three.
All right. Well,
Just
then there you
saying.
go. Okay. So real quick, Scott's coming in with a super chat. Now we're moving. $10
Yeah,
super chat.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Scott. We really, really appreciate that. Saying what I like about Halloween 4's opening is that it was original. Dwight Little did lots of research in doing that. Final chapter opening just basically took footage of the first 3 films. Okay. All right. Very, very cool. And like I said, the atmosphere of Halloween 4 was so good, man. No doubt about it. Scott, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Helps out the channel, helps us to do streams like this. And yeah, let's play this one for you.
Baby, can you dig your man? He's a righteous man.
Don't let go.
There it is.
You know, I have a hard time. It's for a good reason. I have a hard time watching Creepshow now because of you, Nate.
Yeah. Right. I love it. I love it, man. But thank you so much, Scott. We really appreciate the super chat, man. It really helps us out and keeps the lights on for the channel. Val saying, as far as the music, giving it to Halloween always has some of the best music. It always adds to the scariness of the movie. So from my point, we've got one for each. Eric for Halloween, Coriander for Friday. I got to give it to, and again, both of these movies have great music, but I have to give it to Halloween. And Eric, you actually noted one of the big scenes that I thought was just great with the theme was when he got up out of that chair right before he killed Kelly. And man, it was just creepy, man. Like the thing about Halloween 4 is it had this atmosphere that kind of rivaled 78 for the vibe, the Halloween vibe, but also the music was on point too, which, as we know, it's difficult to do that, when you're trying to follow in the footsteps of John Carpenter. So I'm going to give it to Halloween as well. All right. This is getting pretty tight here. Oh boy. Okay. So our next category, I can't wait for this. Our next category that we're going to be talking about is supporting characters. Okay. So let me explain this. Okay. So listen to what I say. That way we are not confused. We're talking about supporting characters, and we've got a hell of a lot of supporting characters in Friday. And for Halloween, not as many, but it includes Loomis. It includes Loomis. So you got Loomis, you got Kelly, you got Brady, you've got the old man in the truck who I love in Halloween 4. I love that scene with him in Pleasance.
Oh, the priest,
yeah. But for Friday, man, you got Jimmy, you got Teddy,
a whole bunch of people.
You got the twins.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, you got so many great supporting characters in Friday as well. So, Eric, overall thoughts on supporting characters?
See, now you're throwing me for a loop, throwing Loomis in there. But this is, I mean, there are some characters that even each other out. Brady and Teddy are kind of like the same to me. They're just kind of like the annoying friend, whatever. You have a family dynamic. The only difference to me and what is going to give that 1 point to my choices. There's both a family dynamic in this, and I'm going to base my choice on which family dynamic I like better.
Ooh, wow, you're getting technical in there, bro. I like
Got
it.
to, dude.
Okay.
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah, man. Val, saying thank you to Scott for your super chat and support for this channel. Yes, Val, thank you so much for reminding him that we appreciate so much the support. Jamie's in the chat too.
Hey,
Another one of our
Jamie.
channel members. All right. We have a party in here. This is amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with us. Okay, so Coriander, overall thoughts on the supporting characters for these two movies?
I'm sorry, but I gotta go with the movie where the supporting characters just stand out more to me, and so that'll be my choice.
Okay, all right. Now I think that this is a challenging one because in both movies, we have some characters that are annoying, and then we have some characters that are pretty good. And then I think in both movies, we got characters that I really, really love. That I really, really love. So this is going to be a challenging one for me, but we'll see where we go with it. Real quick too, before we give out our points, Jason is coming in with a super chat, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you saying the beginning of Friday 13th Part 4 had the feel of a major film. The Halloween poster has the OG mask, but the movie had the mask from Wish. Friday wins. Oh, okay. So that's how you're grading the poster. Okay. Now remember, when we're doing these categories, we're only going by category. So only by what the poster looks like. But that's all right, man. That's all right. Well, we appreciate the super chat. I knew that someone would probably look at it that way.
I know.
Yeah, but I get it. I get it. Thanks so much, man. We appreciate the super chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonathan saying Halloween. Okay. All right. So Eric, who are we giving the point to for the supporting characters?
Like I said, I'm going to have to go with the family dynamic because kind of like what we looked at last week, we looked at what group would we want to hang out with. And, I'd kind of be annoyed a little bit with either group if I was stuck, all night at a party with them. But we did have some great characters. Like I love, me, I'm a Crispin cultist. I love Jimmy in this movie. I love him so much. Sarah is sweet and innocent and stuff like that. But then if you're throwing in Loomis, and you're throwing in the priest, and we're throwing in, everybody that's in Halloween 4. I'm going with the family, and I gotta give the point to Friday because I love the Jarvis family so much.
Now, can I just say something?
Sure.
And I don't want to mess you up, but we're not counting Trish and Tommy.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
Okay, so I just want to just say that. So I don't know if that changes it or not, and there's a reason why, as we'll get further into the categories. But we are not counting Trish, and we are not counting Tommy when we say supporting characters.
It actually doesn't, because the way I love the way Mrs. Jarvis interacts with her kids. You know what I mean? And I get how, Rachel is not a bad character. She doesn't want to babysit. She wants to go out on a date type of thing. So that's not bad. But her parents aren't really there. You know what I mean? They don't really do much. But the way Mrs. Jarvis is portrayed is she's just so likable, lovable. And you feel for her when she's just taken out. And she's taken out like that.
That's right. That's right.
So even if we take out Tommy and Trish, I still got to give the points because of her. She over all the other supporting characters.
All right, we're going with Friday. Okay, and ZZM's in the chat. What's going on, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. Jason saying Jimmy's dance was epic. Absolutely. And trust me, if we had a category where we could throw something from the Halloween side for a dance, I was thinking that too, but we didn't have a category where we could compare the two. But yeah, Jimmy's dance was absolutely epic, bro. Okay, so Coriander, who are you going to give the point to for the supporting characters?
I am going to give it to Friday.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
There we go. We're going with Friday.
Yep.
Okay, so for me, this was a real good challenge, but because of the fact that we had to eliminate some characters for obvious reasons as we get further into the categories. For me, man, it's got to be Halloween, man. Look, just so that you guys can understand something. Loomis is on fleek in this movie, man. He has never been more Van Helsing than this movie. He's on a mission. And that opening scene where he goes to the diner and, he's like, Michael, and then they have that zoom in of Michael, in the dark man type of bandages and all that type of stuff. It's a fantastic scene. And obviously you guys have seen this movie. You know what happens at the end. And Loomis gives 0 Fs in this movie. He is ready to kill whoever he has to kill. And it doesn't matter even if you're a kid. So this was a situation where I got to give so much credit to Loomis, because not only is he just a great character in these movies, but in this particular movie, he does so much. Like that's the interesting thing about this movie.
This one character is what topped it for you.
Well, I do also like the other characters too.
Well, I'm just asking.
In
Because it
Knight's
is characters, not character.
well,
No,
in,
but what
in,
I'm
in
saying
Knight's
is,
defense, Mrs. Jarvis topped it for me and mine.
Okay.
You know,
yeah. But see, here's
Yeah,
the
but you
thing.
enjoyed the other characters though also.
Well,
And you
yeah,
explained
that's what.
that. He's just saying,
Well,
oh,
I
Loomis,
wanted to give.
Loomis, Loomis.
I wanted to give you the reason why it went to that side for sure, because I do
Okay.
enjoy Jimmy. I do enjoy Mrs. Jarvis. I really do enjoy Teddy as well. But listen, let's just be real. They had, a couple of moments here and there as characters. Loomis was throughout the whole movie, and his presence, his weight is heavy throughout the whole movie. So that's why, to me, it just totally flips it, the balance to Halloween. But I did enjoy, some scenes with Brady and Kelly and Meeker. Sheriff Meeker, I think, was really, really underrated as a character as well. And his scenes with Loomis were great as well. So, anyways, that's all I got to say about that. So I'm going with Halloween for supporting character. Okay. So before we get to our next one, let me catch up in the chat here. The Virgos in the chat saying Halloween supporting characters are a bit more memorable and iconic. Okay. Scott saying Halloween 4 is better supporting characters that have more importance. Okay. Rob says I like the guy that was hunting Jason. Yeah, he was pretty
Rob,
cool.
Yep.
Except for when he died, and he's killing me. He's killing me. Dude, die. What's going on? No, I'm just joking. I love him though. You guys know I love Fridays. There's no doubt. Jamie said I give it to Friday 4 because I love Jimmy and his dance. Yes. Val's giving this one to Halloween. Okay. James going with Friday 4. Okay. ZZM says there's no better character than the preacher that picks up Dr. Loomis. Yes.
I will give credit to Halloween 4. They did a good job with some of the comedy. Like I love the scene with him and the priest, but I love when Loomis is hitchhiking and then those high school kids, whatever they are, they just kind of basically flip them off and take off, and don't even pick them up.
That's right. Agreed. Sarah saying the scene with Rachel and Brady yelling at each other on the stairs with the gun felt like it went on forever. I'm picking Friday. All right. And Val reminding folks to please hit the like button. 41 amazing people in the chat and only 31 likes. Wow. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. It's really easy to do. Let's see. Jason coming in with another super chat, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, bro. Jimmy taught me how to dance. Rob Dyer was epic. He was, man. There's no doubt about that, man. Man, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate you so much. And let's do this one for you. Here we go.
Don't let go. Don't let go.
There it is. There's some other good dance in there from the great Ed Harris.
I love Paulie's WTF look. You know what I mean? When he's watching the dancing.
I know. I love it too. Paulie's like, what the? Oh man. All right. Thank you so much, Jason. We really appreciate you, man. Seriously. Let's see. Unstable's in the chat. What's up? Good to see you. Say I like Friday 4 better, but Halloween 4 is good too. All right. Yeah, I think this is a great battle. It's a really good battle. Tony's in the chat. He knows what's going on. Loomis rocks the flashback scenes in Halloween. Oh, did it for Mac. There you go, man. Yeah, there you go. Having Loomis in it was amazing. ZZM saying, I think the supporting cast goes to the final chapter. Hard for me to say that. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Jason saying people rip on Rob saying he's killing me, but that scene terrified me knowing you were going to die. Yeah, and I think it's a fun little punchline. They actually kind of pulled that from real life. It was a real inspiration that they had for that particular scene, where someone was being killed and yelling that out, he's killing me, that type of thing. So Jason coming in with another super chat. Thanks so much, man. Saying a better dancer, Ed Harris or Jimmy. Man, I got to give it to Jimmy on that one.
Yeah, I still have to too.
Yeah, man. Crispin was in a different universe when he was doing that dance, man. He was just like, it was crazy.
Ed Harris's girl was already having fun. Jimmy won his over with his dance move, so you got to give him props for that.
Ooh, good point, bro. I like that. Yeah. Thanks so much for the super chat, man. We really appreciate you, Jason. You know that, man. Okay, guys, we're gonna go to our next category. All right, so obviously we had to talk about this. Who are you going with in this movie? In this movie only. So I just want let me just say that again, because last week we got a little confused. Only in this movie, we're talking about who do you prefer, Jason in the final chapter or Michael in Halloween 4? Overall thoughts, Eric?
They are so different, but this one is going to be so easy for me. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, all right. Overall thoughts for you, Coriander?
You know, it's gonna be easy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, I think that I enjoyed both characters, in these movies. And again, one kind of changed the destiny of its franchise and was a return to form. And I think they did a hell of a job. You guys know what I'm talking about, obviously. Shout out and rest in peace to the late great George P. Wilbur, who played Michael twice. Played him twice in 4 and 6. A lot of people forget about that. But on the other side, you had the late, and also shout out and rest in peace to Ted White as well. A fantastic job playing Michael at an older age. You would have never known his age, when you watched his performance as Jason in Friday the 13th. But I think this will be easy for me too. Eric, who are we going with?
We'll just get it out of the way. I'm going with Jason.
Okay.
No disrespect to George Wilbur and his Michael, but Michael is the slow, methodical killer. Always has been.
Yes.
Almost always will be. You know what I mean? I've never hidden the fact that I love pre-part 6 Jason more because he is alive. He chases after you, and he is pissed in this movie, especially towards the end. When he Jason always kicks through a door. You know what I mean? Jason or Roy. But in this one, they don't slow it down like they do in 5 and 6. When he kicks through that freaking door, he's pissed. And then when he chucks that hammer, at Trish, when he dives through that window for Tommy, that's truly scary. And kind of like what I said last week, someone running after you is going to be a lot more scary than someone walking after you. So I'm definitely going with and this doesn't affect my pick, but Ted White's also my favorite Jason. So going with Friday the 13th.
All right. Coriander, who are you going to go with?
Isn't this like one of the shorter Michaels?
No, I think Warlock was. I can't remember, but I don't think so because George Wilbur was a pretty big guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
It seems like I remember him just being smaller for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm giving it to Jason.
Okay. All right. How did we go through? Okay, so you're going with Jason too.
Yeah.
Like what did that have to? Okay. All right.
She's still in Colorado.
Man, I'm telling you. Okay, so for me, again, this was really, really cool as far as comparing these two because I think both iterations were really good versions of the characters and did what the characters are supposed to do. So the way I look at it is, like you were saying, Eric, Michael is the fastest slow walker of all time. That's just who he is. So the question is, did this particular version do what Michael is supposed to do? Same thing on the other side with Jason being a lot more intense and, mobile and stuff like that. And I think Ted White, geez, I mean, the stuff he did, the scene where he's facing off with Trish and then, she runs up the stairs and he's literally like so cool. Like I remember as a kid, I'm like kind of jumping because I'm like feeling like she's got to get the hell away from him. And then of course, when they get to the top of the stairs and he's just sitting there or standing there, I should say, looking at her. And Coriander knows this. I always reference this. Trish knew what to do. She said, I'm jumping out the window.
She got the hell out of there.
You know how usually a lot of times they wait Trish is like, you know what? There's only one exit, and it is not through Jason Voorhees. So I gotta do what I gotta do. And I love that about Trish in that scene, but it just showed the intensity of Jason. So, man, I got to go with Jason on this one. Ted White was just absolutely fantastic, just so menacing, you know. And my only regret, and you know, and I love the performances of a lot of the Jasons, but my only regret is he didn't get a chance to portray him again. They did want him to come back, but it didn't work out. So anyway, so I'm going with Jason on this. Mayanne also saying Jason all the way. We were getting some Jason love in the chat here. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Man.
nice.
It's awesome. Let's see. James, again, reminding people what I was talking about earlier. Ted White was 58, man. It was crazy. He did such a hell of a job.
You don't mess with that generation, especially back then.
No, bro. No, bro. Peter Barton found out in the shower. You know, he found out like, bam, just crushed him against the wall. Nikki Black saying Jason was brutal. No doubt. No doubt. Jason coming in with another super chat, $2 super chat saying Ted White did not need the shoulder pads. That's true. It is true. And I will say, man, I think they learned from their lesson in 4, because in 6, you know, George didn't have the shoulder pads anymore, man. I was like, he looked good, you know.
It was just the fashion at the time. All the women were wearing them, you know. So
right. Oh my God. Val saying this is killing me to say, but I have to give this one to Jason in this one. Jason scared me more in this one. Like Eric said, he's mad.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. Shut up, James in the chat. What's going on? Welcome to the chat. Saying Jason fighting Trish on the floor at the end of the final chapter always terrified me. Let's see. The angles of Michael in Halloween 4 didn't properly showcase his size. True enough. Yeah, because in 6 he did seem very, very, you know, because again, that's how the cameras can work. But George Wilbur, he was a big dude. I
think honestly, you know, we made a couple jokes. I think the masks help too. You know what I mean? You know, Jason seemed more intimidating, and that as much as I love H4, I cannot, you know, let that slide with the way the mask turned out.
Well, speaking of the mask, let's go to the mask. Which is the better mask?
That's so easy, man.
Let's just get this one out of the gate.
Well, I kind of already showed my card, so like I said, we might as well just get it out of the gate.
Yeah.
One looks beaten, one looks battered, one has battle scars, and the other is Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Jason's looks better, and it's just disappointing with how the mask looked in Halloween 4 based on what we have seen before. I mean, granted, you know, the one in part 2 wasn't exactly the same, but still, this was just it seemed like a cheap ripoff. It's like you took the Michael Myers mask and you like stuck it on your heater and forgot about it and just kind of melts a little bit.
Right.
It's too bad you didn't put the real Michael Myers mask up.
Of course.
Instead of this, because
well, because
people are thinking like, I don't know.
Well, that was one thing about, and somebody had referenced that earlier as far as the poster being deceiving. That was one thing about the movie that has always.
Well, I'm not right.
Been,
I wasn't talking so much about the poster, but I'm just saying
no.
how you used him though, that picture of Michael and not an actual picture of, you know, from the movie.
Okay, well, look, there's reasons for that,
we're
man.
going on that.
I gotta
because that's deceitful.
Well, listen. Well, hold on. That's a whole thumbnail thing, man. So let's forget about that. You know what the mask looked like in Halloween 4. Come on, man. We've talked ad nauseum
throwing that out there as, you know, a reminder to people. That's all, dude.
Yes,
all.
Yeah, we're going by the Halloween 4 actual mask, not the one on the cover. But Eric, so you're going with Jason on this, right?
Yeah, I have to, hands down. No excuse for his mask in part 4, Michael's.
Good point. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah. Okay. I'm Jason all the way. I mean, I love the mask, the dirtier and the more scarred up it gets, because it just shows you what, you know, Jason's been through. And he's, you know, it's great. So, yeah.
All right. So for me, like, there was no question about this, because I have talked about that goddamn mask in Halloween 4 so much. And the worst part about it is it gets worse in Halloween 5. No disrespect to Don Shanks, because we absolutely love Don Shanks in 5. But I don't know what they were thinking about this mask. Now we know the story about how after 2, they really thought Michael wasn't going to be coming back, so they had to figure out what they were going to. But again, when you look at later movies like the Rob Zombie movies, and especially in the new trilogy, look, it's been shown that you can make a good mask that looks like that 78 mask. Hell, in this trilogy, we not only saw a weathered 40-year-old mask that looks like the 78 mask, but we also saw in the recreation scene in Halloween Kills how they can give you a fresh, crisp, white mask that looks so much like the 78 original. So the whole thing with the mask pisses me off. I've talked about it so much in our Halloween 4 discussion, and our Halloween 5 discussion, and our Halloween H2O discussion, and our Halloween Resurrection discussion, and our Halloween 2 Rob Zombie discussion. Anyways, you guys get what I'm saying, man.
Well, I mean, and people can say what they want about 6. You know, they improved. You know, 6 had a better mask than 4.
Yeah.
You know?
6 is when I started to get hope again. That's when I started to get hope.
Even if you go by 6, it proves that even then they can make a good Michael Myers mask.
That's right. So it's no excuses. And don't get me started on the blonde version of the mask in Halloween 4, man. I don't know what they were.
Ben Tramer's back and he's pissed. That's what it is.
Yes. Halloween 4 is such a great movie, but the mask is the one area where it's like, and don't get me wrong, I've gotten used to it over the years. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen on a slasher killer, but just for Michael, it's just not up to par with the original. So anyway, so Jason gets the call from all of us there. Let me catch up to the chat for a second. I'm sitting there ranting on the mask. I knew I was going to, man.
Yeah, we've all got our triggers, my friend.
It's true, man. It's true. That mask was fucking horrible.
That mask was as melted as Michael was under those bandages, man.
Yes. I know, man. They should have just gone with Darkman Michael. James saying,
that would have been cool.
It would have been, bro. I could have gone with that, you know. James saying, damn, I love Halloween 4, but the mask ain't shit. Vote goes to final chapter. Absolutely.
Nice.
Rowdy's in the chat saying, hey, Night, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. And also just to remind people, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps to support us. And Val or Sarah, if you guys can give us an update on that, see how that looks. Unstable saying Jason's the toughest hockey player who has never played hockey. It's true. JB saying the mask in 4 was just awful. Yes. Let's see. It's so funny. James saying the company who was making the mask made them wrong in Halloween 4. Yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy. Carlos in the chat saying the final chapter is awesome. It is. Val, I love this. Val said, I'm just dying inside, but I have to give this one to Friday 13th. The mask in 4 just wasn't right and really threw off the character look. Yes. And that's why I love doing this.
Val.
That's why I love doing this, because we're doing it by categories, you know?
You know, Val's diehard Halloween, but if she has to give it to Jason, it shows how fair these categories are.
Exactly. We want this to be fair. JML's in the chat. What's going on? We are at 37 likes, guys. All right.
Nice.
Let's keep going. If you haven't hit the like, please do. Okay, so let's go to our next category. We're almost there, guys. Keep letting us know what you think. Our next category is the kills in this movie. Only in these 2 movies, Halloween 4 and Friday 4. Overall thoughts for you, Eric?
I think this is going to be tough because, again, they're so different. One has simple kills, and those are air quotes, and the other is Tom Savini. So it's hard to compare. You know what I mean? But I've got a winner.
Okay. Coriander, how about you? Overall thoughts?
It's funny because ever since I saw that statement of picking between children, it's like, for me, that would be pretty damn easy because I couldn't choose my children. So I would just throw us all over the edge, you know, and I'd go with them because I couldn't live with either one of them. And I don't, that's what I do. I'm sorry. But ever since I saw that question, I was like, it's just been in my head now. But okay, now that it's out, what the kills?
Yeah, just overall thoughts on the kills in Halloween 4 and the kills in Friday 4. It's like, what's going on?
I gotta give it to
Not
Just
I
yet.
overall
like it
thoughts.
better I like the kills in one better than the other. So there you go.
Well, yeah,
Well,
you gotta.
I would
Oh, are
assume
we
so.
voting? Are we
No,
giving?
All right, so listen, let me say my part. The kills in Friday
Eric,
4,
fine for it.
the kill, the
Oh
kills in
my
Friday 4, I think there's some really, really good ones, and probably the best kill is to a character you don't expect to have the kill happen to. Okay, but in Halloween 4, we also have some really cool ones too, man. That really stand out. And I was really, really impressed with some of the things that they did, because again, this was a movie that kind of returned to form. But I do have one that I'm going to be able to pick. Okay, so Eric, let's give this point and the reason why.
Okay. Like I said, we got both have memorable kills. One is definitely not as violent. We got one that has Savini, who is, the godfather of horror. You all know I love him. I've got, Savini shirts and all of his books. But I'm going with Halloween, and here's why.
Ooh.
Sometimes I think less is more, and it leaves an impact. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Axel's, head spin and the bone saw. Jason's kill is great. There's some other memorable ones. What pushes Halloween over the edge for me is the way it's done. Simple and effective. One of my favorite deaths in the whole franchise has no blood. It's Kelly getting impaled by the shotgun. It's quick. It's forceful. The look on her face when she's impaled against the wall. Great. I love the one paramedic who gets killed in the ambulance with the thumb up the cheek.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That whole sequence with the redneck brigade when when Michael reaches in and grabs the guy by the neck and the chin and just little effective, and they made more of an impact than a meat cleaver to the head or Teddy getting stabbed in the back of the head with a kitchen knife. So I'm going with Halloween.
Okay, all right, going with Halloween. Coriander, how about you? Who are you going with and why?
The more kills for me, especially when it comes to Jason. Hell yeah. So I'm giving it to Jason.
Okay. All right. We'll go with Jason. Okay. For me, this was actually pretty challenging. And I will say, Eric, I was thinking about some of those types of things too, is about the setup of the kills and how that overall the atmosphere it made me feel. Because the one thing about these two movies and really about these two horror icons is that they have that different rhythm as far as how things happen. With Friday movies, it's boom in your face, it's intense, and then it's usually something pretty gross, especially when you have Savini involved. But with Halloween, it's always been about the stalk, the creepy factor, the atmosphere, and then boom, something happens. And it's usually it's not that it's so much that it's intense, but he's like almost a ninja. Michael is like a horror ninja. You know what I'm saying? And so those kills sometimes can stay with you a little bit longer. I think in Friday 4, there were some really good kills, but I agree with the kill with Teddy. That was kind of like, oh man, it kind of offset the kill with Jimmy, which was fantastic with the cleaver to the head. Also, when you had one of the Doublemint twins, when she got thrown out the window, that was kind of like, it was cool, like the tension beforehand, but then the ending of it was like, oh, wait a minute, now we know that's not her because those legs are way too big for one of the Doublemint twins. So it was interesting stuff like that.
Yeah.
But long story short, I'm gonna go with Halloween because again, the atmosphere and how the setup happened, I was more on the edge of my seat. And of course that's a rhythm that's throughout the franchise. But in this particular case with Halloween 4, I think they really nailed it on the head. So I'm going with Halloween 4.
Yeah, one kill I want to give a shout out to is we mentioned when Michael gets out of the chair, we got the guard killed off screen, and then just the way that they show his body folded up in the corner. You know what I mean?
With the candle when Rachel lights the candle,
and then he just so.
Thank you. That was creepy as hell, man. Because as soon as she saw that, first of all, we know that Michael is in the house, right? And that in and of itself is so damn scary. We're so invested with Rachel at this point, and when she lit that candle, and it was like, oh crap! I mean, I was really, really worried for Rachel.
And
You
he's
know what I'm
just
saying?
waiting in that rocking chair. You know what I mean?
Right? He is singing. He is singing a song, sipping on tea in a rocking chair. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, real quick too. Scott's coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Scott. We really appreciate the support you guys are giving us tonight. Seriously, it will help us to continue to do live streams like this because we've gotten a lot of great feedback. We've got a great idea for next week as well because of so much support. Thank you guys. Saying they used the same mask in part 2 as in part 1. Yes, they did. I actually like the mask in 4. The clean white blank look had a scariness to its own. You know, I do think that there was a scariness to it because it looked so flat. And again, he is the shape. But again, man, that OG mask, you know, I just loved it so much. I really did. And of course, with Warlock in 2, you know, the big difference is, you know, Deborah Hill had it under her bed. You know, it was kind of, you know, just kind of sitting there rotting a little bit. And of course, Dick Warlock, his face is wider than Nick Castle. So that's why the mask looked a bit different in 2. So, but Scott, thank you so much for the super chat, man. It really helps us out and we appreciate it. And yeah, let's do this one for you.
Bastard! Bastard!
Yeah, some Linda Bay George for you. You gotta love Pieces, man. It's old school slasher movie. All right. So let me catch up a little bit more to you guys in the chat. You guys are working hard, man. Let's see. Val saying one of my favorite kills in Halloween 4. Okay, yep, the kills. Okay, gotcha. And also, we got a link to Eric's channel.
Oh,
And
thank you.
make sure you subscribe to Eric. I've got the link also in the description.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Virgo saying the over the top kills can come off too campy and lose the scare factor. Yeah, I could definitely see that. No doubt. Let's see. Yeah. Someone grabbed the wrong mask. They sure did, man. And which was absolutely just hilarious. I remember when I first saw it as a kid, I was like, oh, wait a minute, why does this mask look different? Yeah. Let's see. I think I'm almost caught up with you guys here. Ava's in the chat saying hi. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. All right. Let's see. And Rob saying the morgue deaths were epic in Friday 4. They were. They really, really were. No doubt. Let's see. Who else have we got here? Jake, the horror movie geeks in the chat, said it would have been cool seeing Deputy Logan's kill in Halloween 4. I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, it was a great kill, though. It really, really was. Jonathan agreeing. No doubt at all. Okay, guys, so we just finished the kills category. Let's go to our next category. This is going to be a good one. This one is story, the actual story of the movie. And again, we're talking Friday 4 and we're talking about Halloween 4. Overall thoughts, Eric?
Honestly, neither story really hit me that hard, so this one's going to be hard for me to decide because they're pretty similar. If you ask me, both of them are almost identical. There's like one little difference with something that'll probably make me choose. But yeah, this one's going to be difficult because they're like 50-50 here.
Okay. All right. How about you, Coriander?
For me, it's going to be pretty easy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think for me it's actually pretty challenging because again, I think both of these movies, just for those who've just come in to the chat, both of these movies I absolutely love. Both of these movies are very high on my list for the individual franchises. And I think both movies were very effective in what they were trying to do. So this one is going to be a challenging one, but let's give the points. So Eric, what are you going to give the point to and why?
If I'm going to give the point, like I said, I think these stories are pretty much the same, just in my opinion. I guess I'm going to give the point to Halloween because I mean, sure, we both have characters that connect to a previous character in the movie. I just like how this one kind of connects to Jamie Lee Curtis and everything like that. You know, even though she didn't return, we have the photograph, stuff like that. So I like how Michael is still stalking his family.
Okay.
The story for the final chapter is pretty much the same final Friday the 13th story we get, every year. So.
Okay. All right. So you're going to give the point to Halloween.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Coriander, what do you think?
I'm sticking with the story I had the most fun with and enjoyed the most, and so that's Jason Friday.
Okay. So for you, that story, you enjoyed it more because you had more fun with it, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And ZZM saying, does the final chapter really have much of a story? Rob says there kind of was a story, the hunter out for revenge for Jason killing his sister.
Right.
Yeah, they touched upon that a little bit. I think they could have gone into that a little bit more, but there's a lot going on. And I will say the thing about the final chapter is they were able to balance a lot. And we've got a couple categories coming up that proves that. Halloween did as well, no doubt. But I think Friday 4, it was very ambitious, man, because even though, you had Jason, and he's at Crystal Lake or, out there near Crystal Lake doing his thing, there were some other things going on that really made it a lot more ambitious than the previous entries. So now hold on one quick second. JT's in the chat saying, question on Halloween 4, how is Jamie seeing the ambulance and having nightmares if she never knew Michael? That psychic link. That psychic link. Yeah. All right. So
that's bullshit, psychic link.
well, that's what they came up with, man. It is what it is, man.
Exactly. It's what they came up with.
It's just
like they
Jason
came up with the runes and the friggin',
But it's just hold on now.
all
Let's
this
be
other
fair.
shit.
It's just like Jason seeing his mother. Come on.
Dude,
both franchises have done some
what do
wacky
you
shit.
mean? How could you stay? People can think that they see their loved ones even if they're dead.
And there's people that feel like they have certain connections to other people for whatever reason, unexplained. There's a lot
pretty
of
similar.
No.
Pretty similar.
No, I'm sorry,
Come on, man. Don't show favoritism, man. We're doing categories, man. Let's make this.
I am doing categories.
Okay. So you're going with Friday for story, man. I gotta give this one to Halloween because I think for me there was just this
bullshit.
Ominous.
Jamie was.
All right, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
You're a fan of Halloween 4, so why?
I am. Well,
okay.
I'm comparing it to Friday, and I mean, come on, Lori was dead.
Okay, well,
they killed off Lori.
Yeah, but we're not worried about Lori. We're talking about what's
adopted.
in the movie.
I get it. This was in the movie.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they said Lori died.
Yeah. And I'm just saying that, this whole, I don't know,
I'm talking
even
about
how, he woke up from a coma because, all of a sudden he heard, I don't know how, all of a sudden.
But that doesn't, it's never been said that that's why he woke up. For all we know, he could have been conscious before that. But now he knew, that his sister had a daughter. Let's not let's just go by these categories, bro. And here's the biggest point. And I love Friday 4. You know that. That's my favorite Friday film. But here's the
that's
point.
Why you're kind of pissing me off. It's like, dude,
but we're going by categories. We're going by categories. That's what makes us fair.
Still,
but listen, here's a good point. Someone said it in the chat too. The whole idea of Rob being the hunter, going after Jason and so forth, they touched upon that, but that never really went anywhere. Let's just be. I'm being honest about it, even though I love the movie.
How is Halloween any different?
Well, let me finish.
He's always going back to Haddonfield on Halloween.
I'm not talking about that. Let me finish my point.
Just like Jason's always in the woods doing his thing.
Listen to me for a second. Let me talk for a second. So the Rob storyline went nowhere. But in Halloween, Loomis's storyline as the hunter definitely went somewhere, and it was much better acted, and so forth. So to me, when we just talk about story, that's all we're talking about. That's why it makes this fair. The whole idea of Loomis hunting Michael, which we definitely got, the new person involved being the niece, plus Rachel trying to protect Jamie, and also the ending. So those are a lot of factors in the story that I think overcame a lot of the great story that Friday 4 did have. It did have great story, but to me, Halloween story was much more complex and better
You like
executed.
that ending better than
Well, we haven't gotten to that
Friday?
yet. Don't jump. Don't jump.
Oh, she did it.
Don't jump. You're jumping. Let me control the categories here. So I'm going with story.
Okay, so that's a category. Sorry.
Let me go with story.
Shit.
Okay, so now that we've done that, let's jump to the next thing, the finale. Okay. Gosh, man.
Thank
Okay,
God.
Eric.
No.
Eric, overall thoughts on the finale for Halloween 4 and Friday 4?
Night, my brother. My first beer tonight will be for you. Okay, I'll say that. I'm kidding. Both are really, really good. One trumps the other because of, I mean, they're also both very, very similar. You know what I mean? The way they end, you know, both, you know, hey, is this going to be the new Jason? Is this going to be the new Michael? The final confrontations. I just think one is definitely done a lot better than the other.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you? When we talk about the finale, the final act, which obviously in both movies is, whatever, about 15 minutes worth.
One is better than the other.
Well, all right. Okay. So for me, I think both of these finales are really good. Seriously. You've got a lot of stuff going on in both. And I think both of these movies were, to me anyways, operating at a really high level, for what they were trying to individually do. So this is going to be a challenging one. So Eric, let's give our point. Which one are you going to give the point to for finale?
I am giving the point to Halloween. And here's why. Both final fights, final confrontations, however you want to say it, are great. I'm going with Halloween because of the way it's shot. You hear the foster mom yelling, and what sells it for me is she's yelling upstairs, and you have the sheriff running up there. Yeah. And the look on his face is great. The fact that Loomis was willing to shoot a 8-year-old girl. I don't know exactly her age. And just the way Donald Pleasance sold it, he sold it with the screaming, the no, that type of stuff. That's a WTF ending. Right. Friday, okay, as of this movie, they're both dead. You know what I mean? Michael's supposedly dead in this one. The way the Friday, the final chapter ended, it was just kind of a lame Corey Feldman staring at the camera type of thing. It got its point across, but that's kind of it. The way Halloween 4 ended, it's just, it was fantastic. Even if we didn't have a part 5, that is a great way to end that movie.
Right. Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
So it's funny, the few, I don't know how many times I've seen Halloween 4, and I can't exactly remember the ending to a T. So that in point tells you there that Friday is a better finale because I can remember that from start to finish. So Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going with Friday. Okay. All right. And real quick, we've got super chat. And guys, also, I want to make sure that you guys understand one thing. These are our opinions. So if you guys can obviously give your opinion in the chat, but we want you guys to be respectful. So Val, thank you for deleting that. And if you guys cannot be that way, then I will personally kick you out. So I just want to make sure I say that. You guys should know that by now. Okay, I don't play around with that. So these are our opinions only our opinions. And if you guys agree, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. You guys can do your own rankings. Okay. So I just want to say that as long as everyone understands. So, Val, thank you for keeping a check on the chat. Now, when we talk about finale, both of these finales, again, I really, really love them. But for me, the thing that stands out, and I love the battle, so to speak, with Trish and Jason. And I think Tommy, was really, really resourceful in the end. But the other thing with Michael is in that finale, like there was a lot of stuff going on between, like you were saying earlier, Eric. You got the town, you got him trying to, get after Jamie. Rachel's trying to protect Jamie, and then of course the stinger at the end. So man, I got to give this to Halloween, man, because the finale. When I was a kid, and this is why, when I was a kid and I saw that finale, it shocked the shit out of me. It truly, truly did, because I didn't know where they were going to go with this. And the fact of Jamie walking in the footsteps of her uncle, I was just like, what? I was like, are you serious? Like, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
And like you said, too, Loomis, and again, like when we're talking about supporting characters, Loomis was in this thing from the beginning.
Right.
All the way to the very end. And Donald's performance, was just absolutely amazing. The fact that he pulled out that gun and he was about to shoot Jamie, I was just like, what? This is crazy. So I gotta give this one to Halloween.
Yeah, it's not a knock on the final chapter, for me, but it was also, I think, the ending to Halloween 4 was also more fun. You had the pickup truck, she's running him down and he's getting blown away and falls down and stuff like that.
Right.
There's just more to it, which, like I said, it's not a knock against Trish's final fight and Tommy hacking up Jason. It's fantastic, but it's just, I got to go with the. I hate to say it, but the fact that Loomis was willing to take out Jamie just to stop the evil right then and there, that's more of a like a gut punch or like a what the fuck moment. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. No doubt. Okay. All right. So we've got 2 categories left, man. This is it. Okay. Our next to last category. This is the absolute crazy stuff here, man. But I was waiting to do this. The Final Kid. Both movies, we have a young actor in a role that's pivotal, and I think both did a hell of a job. Overall thoughts, Eric?
Ooh, this is tough. Both were great actors at that age. You know what I mean? Both were. It was done differently. I'm gonna have to sit on this one. I'm gonna have to think. This one's tough.
Yeah. Val saying have to give this one to H4. Hacking the hell out of Jason is great. The very pissed off Jason, but damn, Loomis was ready to shoot Jamie, which showed us Loomis's descent into his own madness. Yeah, good point. Let's see. James saying both endings were great, but for me, Friday 4 was Jason's best death in the franchise. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so Coriander, overall thoughts on The Final Kid? We got Tommy Jarvis versus Jamie Lloyd.
Yeah, one kid definitely did better than the other. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty easy.
It's going to be easy for you. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know how easy this will be for me because I really did enjoy both of these characters a lot. And again, when you have a child actor in a role, it can make or break a film. It really, really can. But both of these young actors, obviously Corey Feldman, with a lot of experience at that point, but still a young actor, did a heck of a job in Friday 4. And also, obviously, Danielle Harris's Jamie was great in Halloween. Okay, so Eric, who are we giving this point to, man?
This is going to be kind of like a flip of the coin thing. So just going with my gut right now, I'm giving it to Tommy Jarvis and Friday 4.
Okay.
The reason why is nothing against Danielle Harris. She's great in this. As much as everyone knows I dislike 5, she's great in that. So when she was a child, she was fantastic.
Yes.
But with, Corey Feldman, when he was at that age, from this to, let's just say, like Stand By Me, that era of him, he was untouchable. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think it showed more here because I think what knocks it over the park here is he was given more to do as a kid. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
wasn't always running away screaming. He was there, goofing around with Rob and his masks and stuff like that. We got to see him just be more natural as a kid instead of the would-be victim that Jamie usually is, because a lot of times she's having the nightmare, she's running away screaming. I think Corey was given more to do, and he was able to use that to his advantage to give a better performance.
Right. Good point. All right, so we're going with Friday. Coriander, how about you when we talk about Tommy Jarvis versus Jamie Lloyd?
I'm gonna have to give it to Danielle on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
I guess not.
Oh, she got kicked out again. I don't know if it was my connection too. Savage Zombie in the chat saying Tommy Jarvis for me. All right. Val saying, damn Night, this one is a difficult one. It is. It really is. A lot of these are really, really tough.
I think this was probably the most difficult one so far.
Yeah. ZZM saying, I'm sorry, the character of Jamie by a landslide. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Oh, and there she is. Hey, you're back.
Sorry.
That's okay. Any particular reason why you're going with Jamie on that one?
I just think, this kid was, I think she portrayed someone more terrifying than Tommy did. I mean, she was running through the streets. She's, you could see that this poor little girl was terrified, and she went through quite a bit. So didn't Tommy, but I just think that, she had way more contact with the actual slasher than Tommy did with Jason. So, yeah, I think, she did the better job.
Good points.
All right. Okay. And Life is Forever is in the chat. What's going on? Saying hello. I made it. Yeah. Welcome. One of our new subscribers to the channel left a comment earlier today, and we had some conversation. Great to see you. Here.
Welcome.
Hopefully you can enjoy this and check out the replay because we're almost at the end here. Okay. So this was tough, man. This was really, really tough. I think that both of these characters are really, really good, and they're doing different things, right? One is kind of in the mix a little bit, but not much until the end. And then you've got the other one that's kind of in the mix throughout pretty much the whole movie and dealing with traumatic stuff, not only just with the antagonist of the movie, but also the life that they're leading as a kid. So with that in mind, I got to give it to Jamie on this one, man. I got to give it to Jamie on this. I mean, she's literally kind of like what Coriander was saying, which was an excellent point. She's dealing with a lot, man, because she is scared shitless of what's going on with Michael. And whereas with Tommy is surrounded by a lot more characters like Rob, but also he's being protected by his sister. And I think that makes a big difference. Now, granted, he was amazingly resourceful at the end. He had the game plan. That was just some crazy stuff, the game plan he had. But if I'm going overall throughout the whole film, I'm going to go with Jamie on that one. Okay, guys, this is the final one, the final category, and then we're going to tally up the votes.
All right.
Final girl. So we've got Trish versus Rachel. This is going to be interesting. Overall thoughts, Eric?
Oh man.
Right?
This is one. Jesus. I have no thoughts.
I know.
I'll wait till I give my vote. This is tough. Damn. I knew this was going to be a category, so I shouldn't be, surprised. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not until you make it official where you really got to think about it that it's tough.
I know, man. I know.
So there's my thoughts. How about that?
Yeah, that is really tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Coriander, how about you? Overall thoughts?
You have one final girl who's dealing with the killer a lot longer than the other. So I got to give it to her.
Okay.
So.
All right. For me, kind of like what you were just saying, in this movie, you've got one final girl that is dealing with the killer quite a bit more, overall than the other one. But the other one has some really good, how should I say, one-on-one with the killer. So this is really challenging, and that's why I think doing these categories is really fun because
Can I
what was
just
that?
say too, you got to remember, just because I know you love how Trish jumped out that window, but didn't what's her name there?
Rachel.
Yeah,
Yes.
didn't she like fall off of a roof?
She did, man. She
So
was like, "Hey, Coriander,
exactly.
you just had one of the best things that I forgot to even say, but you're so right." Trish said, "I'm going to jump out this window." But you know what Rachel said? Rachel said, "Michael is trying to kill me on this roof and I'm hanging by a thread. I'm going to let go and just hope that I don't die landing on the ground." You are so right. And that's why I think, for real, and for you guys watching, I really do think this is a tough battle because both of these movies do it great, and both of these movies have a lot of parallels to each other. So anyways, great point, Coriander. Thank you so much, because this is really good stuff. So Eric, we got to give a point to one of them. Who are we going to give the point to, bro?
Oh, God. You know what I like about Rachel is I like she has that arc. I like how she was just kind of a brat in the beginning, and it was nothing against her. She wanted to go. She had a date. She had to cancel to babysit. You know, I think she even says a line like "We're not even sisters" or something like that. You know, she. So that kind of hit. But then she becomes the protector, and by the end, when she she puts that truck into gear and says, "You son of a bitch," and that's a great scene. Trish, she is a. I'm going to give it to Trish, and here's why. I'm going to give it to Friday. Because, like I mentioned earlier, how much I love the Jarvis family. I love the connection between the two of them. They are brother. You feel like Kimberly Beck and you feel like Corey Feldman are brother and sister. The way they act, the way they tease each other. And then as this, skinny dipping, she makes sure he can't see that type of stuff that, a big sister would do. But as the movie goes along, I just think the final confrontation between her and Jason, like, and by the end of it, she's yelling, "Tommy, get the hell out of here." And she's not running. She's still standing there. She's shaking like a leaf. You see the knife shaking in her hands. You know what I mean? But she ain't going nowhere. I got to give it to Trish and Friday.
Okay. All right. You caught me with that one. I thought you were going the other way when you started. Oh, right.
I know.
All right.
I had to think.
Yeah. No, it is difficult, though. Coriander, who are you giving the point to?
I am giving the point to Rachel.
Okay. All right. Any particular reason?
Just because, like I said, Michael was pretty much following her. So because of, his little niece there. So she was protecting this kid throughout, half of this movie or something?
Yes.
So, she kicked ass. I'm sorry. So didn't Trish.
Okay.
I love Trish in this movie, but you're putting them together, and I mean, I got to give it to Rachel. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Gina is saying Rachel all the way. All right. All right. JT saying another tough one. Agreed. Totally agreed. No doubt about it. Let's see. Kiko's in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Saying it's all about Nancy Thompson, Laurie Strode, and Sidney Prescott. Okay, all right. Thorne saying definitely Trish. Extron saying I'm going with Rachel. I really liked her character. Still like Trish, but Rachel was really badass. No doubt about that. Philip saying Rachel was great. Trish was also great, but I have to give it to Rachel. Let's see. Just want to catch up to you guys a little bit. Extron saying when Rachel ran over Michael Myers, that was funny. Okay, all right. Life is Forever saying thank you. I'll be sure to check it out in its entirety. I appreciate the shout out, by the way. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Scott saying it's a flip for me. This one is hard for me. Agreed. Our good friend, our brother Strange Monkey's in the chat. What's up? Saying if Dr. Loomis was down in the basement, he would have shot the hell out of Jason, not just stand there. My work here is done. Strange Monkey saying Rachel all the way. All right. Nikki coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Saying another great episode. Sitting here with my 15 and 20-year-old sons, and it's been fun.
Cool.
Oh, that's great, man.
Nice.
Wow. Now, see, that is something that we really love to hear when people
Mm-hmm.
can hang out with friends and family and loved ones and just have fun talking horror or talking movies. Thank you so much, Nikki. We appreciate you sharing that with us. Saying they are also horror fanatics. Thank you. Can't wait to see what you have planned for next week. Yeah, we've got, listen, you guys have enjoyed this format, and we've got a bunch of ideas for upcoming episodes on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. So keep your eyes open. Make sure your notification bell is turned on. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Val also saying thank you for the super chat and support of this channel. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool what Nikki said. Not just that she's watching by herself, but the fact that her kids are sitting watching and they're enjoying what we're having to say. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And 15 and 20. That's awesome, man. Shout out to the kids.
Yeah.
Shout out to the kids. Yes. Okay. So my point, listen, this was tough, man. You guys know I love Trish, and you know, she did what she had to do. Coriander reminding people that Rachel made a choice too. They didn't play around. They know when to just, you know, just leave it to fate if they survive. But I will say, I liked Trish's confrontation with Jason at the end. It was very intense, especially that scene where he runs after her up the stairs and so forth. But with Rachel, I think there were some great tension moments with Michael, that rooftop scene, the truck scene, and also the fact that she was dealing with a lot more with Michael as far as the balance of the whole story of the movie. In the house, seeing what happened with Brady, you thought Brady was going to make the right choice. He didn't. And you could just imagine what Rachel is going through, because her first thought is protecting this kid who, as she said earlier in the movie, isn't even her real sister.
Right.
And guess what? She became a real sister. So I got to give this to Rachel, man. It's tough. It's a flip of the coin, but just overall story. Ellie Cornell, it was absolutely fantastic. And it was abysmal what they did to her in Halloween 5. But we'll get to that in a different story.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yes. Scott saying Rachel does have the better arc out of the two. I personally agree with that. Yeah. Chuck in the chat. Hello, Nightwatch and company. What's going on, Chuck? Good to see you. Glad for you to be here. Again, Val's reminding folks, if you have not subscribed to Hey Internet Eric here, do so, because his channel is fantastic. He's one of our greatest friends. He's on the channel all the time. I mean, he's just awesome, man. So make sure you do that. There's the link in the live chat. The link to his channel is in my description. The link to his channel is all over a bunch of our videos on this channel. So if you haven't caught on yet, you know, like, he's our brother. He really is.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Okay, so we just did our final category. Let me tally these up. Dude, I already know that this is even tighter than last week's. Okay. All right. So I'm counting them out right now.
This was really tough because
I
mentioned last week was kind of one-sided for me. You know, I loved Friday 2. Halloween 2 is just okay for me. That's just me. But with these categories, you know, it showed how fair we were. This one was tough because Halloween 4, I'll say it now that since we've already given our votes, Halloween 4 is my favorite Halloween movie. It is. And the final chapter is in my top 3. So this one was really tough because of how much I enjoyed them both.
Yeah. JT saying subscribe to Eric's channel. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy it.
We appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, I just tallied up the points, and bro,
if it's a tie, I swear to God,
the final. Well, and I do, and just to let people know, because I already let the cat out of the bag. We're going to do some more of these coming up again, starting next Tuesday. We're going to keep doing this type of format, but I already do have in each case a possible tiebreaker question, so I always have that. But the score ended up being 16-17.
No shit.
This is crazy.
Wow.
16-17, guys. I cannot believe it. Let me just double check it one more time. This is crazy. Yes, 16 for one and 17 for the other.
Yeah, because last week wasn't that close, I don't think.
Yeah, last week was close up until about halfway through.
Mhm.
And then it just kind of went off the rails, man. It really, really did. Okay, guys. Well, let's just tell you guys who the winner for this week is. And the winner is Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter, 17 points to 16 points for Halloween 4. Halloween 4 was catching up there, man. It was right down to the wire. And Eric, I'm telling you, man, when you started to say what you were going to say, I was already thinking of what I was going to say, and I was trying to think of what Coriander was going to say, and I was thinking to myself, we might have a tiebreaker here because I already knew what the points were ending up being. Oh my God, man!
Fingers crossed for a tie someday.
Yes,
I'm actually looking forward to a tie one day.
Yes. James saying Friday 4 is like the Dark Knight of the franchise. I agree. Val saying wow. James saying all right, Friday 4. Sarah coming in with a $2.20 super chat. Thank you so much, Sarah. We appreciate you saying so much fun. This was a lot of fun, man. Very, very fun. Virgo saying Halloween 4 wins in my book. It was close. It was really, really close. It's a great matchup, guys. And again, going by categories, again, you guys got to realize for us, we love both of these movies. So, it can sometimes be a little dicey, but if you break it into categories, it really makes you think a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun doing it this way, man. But crazy stuff. Eric, I mean, what do you think as far as the fact that it won by 1 point as we get ready to head on out here?
It just shows how well liked these two are, in the horror community, because it is that close. It wasn't a washout. You know what I mean?
Right.
All these categories, it was interesting how this started. The first category, I think Halloween, with 3 for 3, but then the second category, Friday, was 3 for 3. So it kind of set the tone that this is going to go either way. But I think it was really cool that it was actually that close.
Yeah, I mean, it was really close throughout this whole thing. Like you said, we went 3 for 3 in the first two categories, and then Friday had another 3, but then Halloween had a couple where there was 2-1s, and actually did a lot of catching up. So, Coriander, how about you? What do you think about how close this was?
It's pretty good, with the way things were going. I'm not surprised that it was close, if not a tie. So.
Yeah, it almost was a tie. It really, really was, man. This was a lot of fun, guys. We're really enjoying this, and we're glad that people are having fun with it and giving us their thoughts and opinions too. That's what this is all about. So we have something really, really fun planned for next week. We got a couple that are planned for next week. So definitely keep your eyes open. Make sure your notification bell is turned on. We think that the next one, it could be even more crazy than this. It really, really can. Mayanne saying Friday 13th is my favorite franchise. Yes.
Good take.
Extron saying Friday 4 is really good, so I ain't bothered by it. Friday 4 is my favorite in the franchise. Yes. All right. Chuck saying I love both movies overall because they're both awesome. They truly are.
Well said.
They truly are. Yes. All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun. Definitely, again, look out for us for next Tuesday. We're going to have another fun versus matchup, and we'll see what happens with that one as well. So we will catch you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace.
Cheers.
Church.